I've never met Cawthon. I've played and enjoyed his games, and I have no doubt he's every bit the genuine and kind person people say he is. But none of that excuses the irreparable harm he's done to the people he purports to love. Ooh! I get people asking me sometimes. They're like, Vito, why don't you make more videos? Why don't you put up more stuff? People seem to want to hear from you. You got people who want to hear your opinions on things. Here's the reason. You're all making me insane. I'm losing my mind. Every day, I think you people can't get any crazier than you've already gotten, and you find new and exciting ways to horrify me with your stupidity. What are we talking about today? Well, we got to cancel somebody. Who are we going to cancel? Let's cancel the Five Nights at Freddy's guy. Why? Why not? We got to cancel somebody. That's the rules. Let's get into it. Don't forget to subscribe. Please subscribe. Let's talk about this. Okay, so I'm on Twitter. I like using Twitter. Fun website. I'm on Twitter, and I see that Five Nights at Freddy's is trending. I'm like, oh, what's this about, huh? I'm not a big Five Nights at Freddy's fan. I think I tried playing the original game for like a minute and I did not know what I was doing. But hey, I know you guys like it. I know you're into it. I want to know what's going on in the gaming world. What's going on in the gaming world? Well, why is Five Nights at Freddy's trending? Because, oh god, I know this Griffineer jerk bag. I guess they got it all started. Let's see. It turns out Scott Cawthon, creator of Five Nights at Freddy's, also a Christian fundamentalist, the worst type of person, as we all know. That's a joke. Maxed out his political donations to Republican candidates and political action committees in 2020. Okay. So, as you may or may not know, if you're watching this, maybe you're one of these young kids, one of these 15-year-olds who plays Five Nights at Freddy's, you found my video, you're like, I don't know what a political donation in America. It's a matter of public record. So if you donate money to the Republicans, everybody knows about it. And the reason they do that is because there's limits on how much you can donate, whatever else. So somebody went and decided to be a bit of a dick. To be clear, I think it's kind of a dick move to dig up people's donations to political candidates. Okay? I mean, that's you as part of democracy exercising your right to support the candidates you support. Again, giving money to these people does not mean you support or endorse anything they've ever done or said. I think people should be applauded for participating in the democratic process, even if they do. So, look, okay, I guess if you donated money to the KKK fund, okay, if like, if a legitimate Nazi was running for office, okay, maybe then I would understand using it against you. But it looks to me like, okay, donated to Devin Nunes, Ben Carson, the National Republican Senatorial Committee, Mitch McConnell. Look, I'm a Democrat. I don't love these people. Donald Trump, obviously. Tulsi Gabbard, Democrat. So that's a little confusing. We'll get into that. But yeah, okay. So I don't love that this guy's donating to a lot of guys who I don't personally want to see in office. But that's his right as a freaking American. If he wants Republicans to be in office, that's his call. And only in like the most extreme like political viewpoint can you be upset. Like, some people are Democrats, some people are Republicans. Even if you think Republicans are jerks and they vote for the wrong people and they have the wrong policies. I don't know, man. A lot of people vote for Republicans just because they think Republicans have the right ideas on things like the economy and how to deal, with like law enforcement and whatever else. But people have decided to spin this as Scott Cawthon donates to these people, not because of any of that stuff. It's because he hates gay people. This is what I'm talking about. Where I'm losing my mind. Have we regressed as a society? Do we not understand that you can vote for Trump and not hate gay people? In fact, I don't think Trump... I mean, I know somebody in the comments is going to correct me, and they're going to say, well, Trump did this, which is anti-LGBT, and Trump did that, which is that. Okay, sure. But that doesn't mean that's the reason you voted for him. A lot of people voted for him because, they wanted him to do something about China or the economy or whatever else. But right away, of course, it's cancel time. We got to cancel somebody who's jumping on there, Kotaku. Well, let's see if we can find here. Okay, so Scott Cawthon, they were trying to cancel this guy. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I don't even have a picture of him here. Let's get a nice picture of this guy. Scott, what do you look like? Okay, Scott Cawthon, he's just a guy. Look at that. Just a regular happy guy hanging out, being a dude. Okay. So Scott, again, he's a Christian, he's a Republican, sure. What are you going to do? There's nothing wrong with that. That's how he lives his life. Has he ever hurt anybody? Is there any evidence that he ever hurt anybody? No. Anyway, Scott comes out and he has a little, not even apology, just a justification of where he's at. I'll try to go through this quickly. He goes, this might be my last post. It's very surreal that people are picking apart my political donations. And, there's so many people from the LGBT community in my fan base, and I love all of you. I was trending on Twitter for being a homophobe. People are threatening to come to my house. My wife is pregnant and is afraid of the things being said online, death threats, whatever else. And all this because I exercised my right and my duty, which I agree with this. I wish I donated to political candidates. I don't have the money to do it. But that's part of the process. Is if you think somebody has the right path forward for the country, okay, you kick them a couple bucks. But to say that is... Again, he says, as an American citizen, I have the right to vote for and support candidates I felt could best run the country. He didn't donate it to him because he thinks they're going to stop gay people from having rights. This is an incredible twist. It's an incredible twist of what he's done. He says, I've supported white people, black people. I supported Kimberly Kallick in Baltimore because I thought she cared for the African-American community there. I even supported Tulsi Gabbard, a Democrat. And yes, maybe the opposing candidates in those races were promising better things to the LGBT community, but I ultimately believe that the candidates I was voting for would result in the ultimate net good for all Americans. Okay, that LGBT people would, maybe you can say he's crazy for saying it. You can say he's crazy for thinking Mitch McConnell and Trump are going to make the country better for LGBT Americans, but that's still what he believes. It doesn't come from a place of hate, or at least not that we can prove in any way. This is such a jump. Again, I'm a Republican, I'm a Christian, I'm pro-life, I believe in God. I also believe in equality, science, common sense. All of those things can go together. If you want to cancel me, cancel me. This is a great statement. I love this statement. If you should read it in full. Go find it. I'm not going to read the whole thing right now. But basically, this guy says, look, I participated in the democratic process. This is my right and duty as an American. I have no hatred in my heart for the LGBT community, and the people who are claiming otherwise are psychopaths, frankly. So let's go talk to some of these psychopaths over on Kotaku, our favorite website, the best place, all the best opinions. Who is it? Oh, it's Ash Parrish. Oh, Ash Parrish always has all the best stuff. She writes all the best articles. Sorry, Five Nights at Freddy's creator Scott Cawthon. Political donations don't work that way. Ooh. Well, I guess we're about to get Kotaku-splained to right now. Scott Cawthon claims to love his queer fans while donating to Donald Trump. Okay, so again, I feel like I'm surrounded by 12-year-olds. I feel like I'm surrounded by children. Like, how do you write this statement? Why do you think it is actually impossible to both A, donate money to Donald Trump, and B, support the LGBT community? They are not mutually exclusive things. Now, I know some people will argue, again, that Trump is more damaging to LGBT. there's some things he's done. I believe he's trying to prevent transgender people in the military. Okay, like little issues. But at no point did Trump say, I want to ban gay marriage. I want to make it illegal to be gay. I want gay people to have less. I don't know. Whatever anti-LGBT agenda you think Trump had, it was not. It's not the reason people voted for the guy. People didn't go to the polls to vote for Donald Trump because they hate gay people. That wasn't part of it. I don't like Donald Trump. Okay, and even I have to say, well, I don't think if you vote for the guy, it means you're homophobic. But according to Kotaku, the great Kotaku, Ash Parrish at Kotaku, here we go. People started supporting him with the I Stand With Scott hashtag on Twitter. All those homophobes tweeting that. Us horrible people. I'd like to think the last 7 years would give the benefit of the doubt regardless of how I try to treat people, Cawthon wrote in his post. And he said even if there were candidates who had better things to say to the LGBT community directly, again, and bigger promises to make, I believe their stances on other issues would have ended up doing much greater harm to those communities than good. It's an excellent way of putting it. If you think your candidate is going to make everybody a millionaire and, you know, put a pie on every windowsill and buy a brand new baseball glove for every child, then yeah, maybe you're voting for him just because you're like, I think it's going to benefit everybody, including gays and lesbians and everybody else. So just because the Democrats come out and say we're specifically going to do, you know, this and this for the gay community or whatever else, it doesn't mean that voting for Republicans is now an anti-gay thing. This is incredible. And here we go. I've never met Cawthon. I've played and enjoyed his games, and I have no doubt he's every bit the genuine and kind person people say he is. But none of that excuses the irreparable harm he's done to the people he purports to love. Ooh, Kotaku. So salty. And then here's what they do is they go on these long sentences, these intricate weaved webs of non-logic to try and justify a faulty premise. The premise again is if you donated money to Republicans, then you hate gay people. That's the basic argument. And to get there, they need to twist and distort. Just look at the twisting here. There's an unfortunate but prevailing sentiment among non-marginalized people. When you say non-marginalized, you can just say white people. Just say white people. You can say that. Say white men. We know what non-marginalized means. You mean us white guys. We're the worst. Okay. There's an unfortunate but prevailing sentiment among white guys that in order for one to be racist, homophobic, or transphobic, one must be an active and malicious participant in racist, homophobic, or transphobic actions or shun the people racism and homophobia affects. Yeah, I'm going to agree with that. In order to be racist, you have to participate in racism. Yeah, pretty much. Now, I know what you're going to say. Okay, you also can't excuse racism. Sure, and I agree with that. If you have a friend who's out there and he's throwing rocks at black people, you have to be willing to go, hey, knock it off. That's fucked up. Don't do that. Okay, sure. But this is not that. This is nonsense. Like racism, the rampant homophobia and transphobia in this country is systemic. It's part of a system. That's how they get you. It doesn't matter what you do as an individual because you're a part of a system that you have never once willingly tried to join into or participate or contribute to, but it doesn't matter because you're a part of it. It's a vast network of laws and practices that work together to oppress marginalized groups, and it's your fault, white people. And because it's systemic, only systemic action can reverse it. Oh, there it is. See, because you're part of a system, you're no longer allowed to make decisions as an individual, right? Because, no, you have to work to fight against this system that you've been forced into. That means passing laws that protect the rights of people of the LGBTQIA plus community. I can't believe they have gotten the acronym this far. At a certain point, don't you go, I think we got enough numbers and letters in here. Why don't we just change to a new thing? Why don't you just call it the rainbow community? We all like the rainbow. Call it the, just come up with a different thing. There's too many things. Who wants to say that in a sentence? Protect the rights of the LGBTQIA plus community. It also means not supporting the kinds of people to vote for laws that disfranchise these communities. Doesn't matter that Cawthon has so many diverse friends. Okay. It doesn't matter that his friends are diverse because his donations enable the oppression of his friends. The oppression. Okay, what have these people done? Now, to be fair, again, I hate having to keep saying it. I voted for Democrats. I'm not voting for anybody anymore because I hate all these parties. I think the Democrats and the Republicans are both just terrible. Terrible. You're all insane on all parts of the equation. But I don't like the Republicans. Okay? But I also know that they're really not out here doing anything truly horrendous to the LGQM59 community. Okay? Mitch McConnell, this guy sucks. Absolutely. He got $5,000 from Cawthon, which is like nothing. This guy, to run a political campaign, you're using millions, tens of millions of dollars. $5,000 did not get Mitch McConnell elected anything. Just last week, he opposed the John Lewis Voting Rights Act, a bill that wants to expand voting access and stop states like Georgia and Florida from imposing voter restrictions that predominantly affect people of color. Okay, so the voting rights, look, this is such a complicated issue, okay? The Voting Rights Act, it's a lot of stuff where the Republicans go, we want, we want more IDs. We want you to be identified at the polls. We want you to have to bring an ID, sure. Also stuff like we don't want, too many mail-in ballots, so we want to restrict how many months there are, which I actually disagree with that. Okay, I think they are trying to stop people from mail-in voting and stuff like that because they think it helps them get more votes. But it's not an anti-gay thing. And even saying it's an anti-people of color thing, I think it's just a pro-Republican thing. Yeah, they're sneaky guys, I feel. Some of them, I think, really do care about election fraud, and they're worried about, IDs and everything else. And some of them, I think, are sneaky guys who think, we can get more votes if we do this. Fine. And it is maybe evil if it is the latter thing. But it's not an anti-gay thing. And him donating money. Did he again, just last week, he opposed the John Lewis Voting Rights Act. Okay. That's good. You know what? I didn't actually even think about this. Okay, so he did that just last week. When did we donate the money to Mitch McConnell? Oh, we donated in 2020. So, was Scott Cawthon supposed to fast forward himself to now to know that Mitch McConnell was going to propose an anti-voting act that would predominantly affect people of color? Cool. He's also responsible for the confirmation of a number of anti-LGBT, I hate this acronym, judicial nominees. Okay, so we also got people elected to the Supreme Court who hate gays, but they don't go on to explain why that is. I have to follow another. Oh my God. This is, again, they bring you down this rabbit hole. Okay, Stephen Graz, he got elected. And Mark Norris. This is a web. Why didn't you just put it here so I know what you're talking about? Tulsi Gabbard. Okay, Democrat. So he gave her money to a Democrat. Isn't that good? She introduced a bill that would make it illegal to permit a person whose biological sex at birth is male to participate in an athletic program or activity that is designed for women or girls. Okay. Look, I'm not going to have the trans sports debate right now. I know it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. But we have to be reasonable. Are you a bigot if you look at a trans female athlete and a biological female athlete and you go, I can spot distinct differences between these two people in terms of size, strength, athletic ability? I don't know. There just seems to be some differences between them. And I feel like it could quite possibly lead to inadequacy, an imbalance in the fairness of the sporting arena. Is that... And again, where did Scott say, oh, by the way, I donated this woman $2,400, wherever it is. When did he donate it to her? Let's take a look. Tulsi Gabbard, 2019. Okay, so October of 2019. She didn't introduce this bill until 2020. What is happening? Do you want him to apologize after the fact? Like, oh, I wish I hadn't gave her money. And then she did a bill, again, about trans sports, which is it's not an anti-gay thing. It's just okay, whatever. Ben Carson, who's he ran for president. Okay, in 2019, he and Donald Trump tried to impose a rule critics said could have prohibited trans women from seeking refuge in federally funded women's homeless centers. Not would have, could have. I gotta look at this horrible bigot, Scott Cawthon. Look at this guy. How could you? How could you vote for a person who might have gotten a law, but didn't get it passed anyway, but maybe could have, I guess, and maybe then trans women couldn't have found, whatever. And here's Trump, who banned trans people from the military, rolled back health care protections for transgender people. What does that mean exactly? Okay, well, rather than give me specifics, they link to... Can you give me specifics, Kotaku? Tried to eliminate protections for LGBT people from workplace discriminations, and he's responsible for this too. What does this have to do with queer people? This article's all over the place. You told me you were going to tell me why these people are anti-LGBT, right? But then you start talking about the Voting Rights Act, and you start talking about the Capitol riots. So, this feels like a first draft of an article. This feels like you did not try. So, Cawthon might be the loveliest person to walk God's earth. The fact is, he willingly enabled with thousands of dollars the people directly responsible for making queer people's lives objectively worse, which undermines his personal feelings for queer fans. Okay. So here's what I'm going to point out is so let's go the alternate route, right? Let's go the alternate route and say let's say that Scott Cawthon was what do you call it? He was a big lover of the Democrats and he donated it to the Democrats. Okay. Well, let me see if I can find this story. No, not Pence. What's his name? Biden. Biden pledges aid to Gaza while supporting Israel. Biden refuses to criticize Israel. Okay, so this is another left-wing issue. Okay, it looks like I'm using an ad blogger. Oh, great. Well, Biden says Israel has the right to defend itself. Right, okay. So let's go by your logic of whoever you vote for, or whoever you donate money to, you're responsible for every single thing that might be led to by their actions. So if he had been a good Democrat, okay, and donated money to Biden, and now we have Biden who says, well, Israel has a right to defend itself, could I not now make the argument that, oh, well, you can't claim that you support your Palestinian fans because you donated money to Biden, who says that Israel has the right to shoot missiles at Palestine? Do you see where, like, the logic breaks down? When you try to say that somebody who votes for a Republican is responsible for or who donates money to a Republican, or whatever else, is responsible for every single thing that person does. Trump did a lot of stuff, good and bad. I'll even say there was some good stuff. So to try and summarize everything Trump did is, well, Trump only did bad things to gay people, and therefore giving him money is the same as kicking a gay guy. Like, I don't buy it. That's like saying that giving money to Biden is giving money to everything Biden ever did. And I'm sure there's still, what do you call it, down in, I hate to get political, but what do you call it? You still have camps. You still have on the border. You got people in cages. Let me see. I think you just look for Biden cages and you're going to see it. Okay, well, I gave money to Biden, and here's what's still going on. You still have this going on, even now. So does that mean that I hate Mexicans because I donated money to Biden? No, because that's not how politics work. This is a child's view of politics. These are children who are making this stuff. I mean, I can't go through this whole Jim Stephanie Sterling, who has lost, I think, how many followers from this? Let's take a look. Social Blade, Jim Sterling. Oh, my God. What happened to Jim Sterling? Let's see. Jim Sterling put up a video basically saying Scott Cawthon should jump off a bridge. Has lost 9,000 subscribers, and I hope loses more, because it's this exact same child's view of politics. This is a child who does not understand the political system.
Who doesn't love religion? Hi there, I'm James Stephanie Sterling, and today we're going to talk about belief systems. Belief systems sound amazing. I don't really have one. I only care about pinball and pro wrestling, but I have heard from people who have belief systems that they're pretty good, actually. From what I gather, you can do anything to anyone, so long as you excuse it by saying, well, it's just what I believe. So the next time a gay kid is thrown out onto the street having been disowned by their parents, don't worry about it. Just shrug and say, well, beliefs.
This is like such a misrepresentation of what's going on that it's actually absurd. Jimmy boy, you are not there's a reason you're not a political commentator, because you just seem to not understand the political process. I believe this guy is British or something, so he does not understand most American things like free speech and free association and the right to donate to whoever the hell you want. Let's be clear. This is not Scott Cawthon saying I'm Christian, so it's okay to discriminate against gay people. That is not even part of this at all. He said, here we go. I honestly voted for people who I thought would make everyone's life better, including gay people. Has nothing to do with his faith, okay? He even says, despite being Christian and pro-life, I also believe in science and common sense. I do not base all my decisions on being a Christian. So why are you here saying, oh, it's okay? And his example, what was his example?
So the next time a gay kid is thrown out onto the street having been disowned by their parents, don't worry about it.
Okay. Like you see how disingenuous this is, right? When has Scott Cawthon said anything about, oh, it's okay to kick gay kids out on the street? It's okay. Let's make gay people homeless. I mean, the furthest stretch you could maybe get there if you go, again, with this thing where Ben Carson could have prohibited trans women from seeking refuge. And it's not even the same at all. These are children talking about politics. Kotaku, I think Ash Paris is in her, early 20s. Jim Sterling is an old man at this point, and I don't know why he hasn't figured out how politics work. I guess because he's regressed into what horrific creature we see here. I don't understand how anyone can watch this person and get any enjoyment out of it. The point is, man, look. Can we stop? Look, he's putting the KKK in there and whatever else. Can we stop being whatever we're being? Can we stop being stupid? I know that you guys are so desperate to cancel people every week. I don't know why. I don't know what sick enjoyment you get out of it. Okay, but maybe just stop. Maybe just give it a rest. Take a break. Take a couple months off and see how you feel. Because you've gotten to the point now where it's not just oh, we're going to cancel guys who say horrible things or do horrible things to people. You are canceling guys who donated a little bit of money to Donald Trump. $2,000. Yeah, I'm sure that $2,000 got Trump elected. I don't like Trump. I don't like most of these Republicans. But even I have the common sense to say, I don't think the guy who made Five Nights at Freddy's needs to be... What? What do you want to do? You want him wiped off the face of the earth? You want him to no longer... Sorry, it doesn't work that way. You're not allowed to make video games anymore. They're trying to cancel him. Let's be clear. They want people to not buy his video games. Okay? Both Ash Paris and Jim Sterling are out here, and they're like, we hope that this guy financially suffers from his decision to participate in democracy and donate money to the political candidates of his choice. It's disgusting. It's sick. And again, I'm kind of upset to have a British guy telling me how people should participate in the American political process. You don't get to dictate that, Jimmy boy. Knock it off. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know. I'm trying to make videos, but these people are driving me insane. They're driving me insane. I don't even know what to say. What do I say? What do I say to this madness? I go crazy listening to this. If you want me to get on here and just rant for 20, 30 minutes about it, fine. Because that's all you're going to get. I can't form concise videos anymore because it's just this sprawling web of nightmare lies from these grifters and morons. Used to be I could take individual little pieces of information and concisely break it down. No, because now you have a million different people arguing a million different things. They're telling me Ben Carson and the voting rights and Tulsi Gabbard. It's too much. So if you like my sprawling, screaming rants, here you go. Here you got one. Come on back. Subscribe for more. You're all nuts. You're all nuts.